Hey everybody, it's Dan with Pain for You. I don't know if you can hear it, but I've got a whole flock of geese back behind the woods. Hundreds of them in a big flock flying away. They're making a racket out here. So today is New Year's Day 2020. And I just wanted to shoot a special video for you guys and gals just to say that 2020 is your year. Doesn't matter how long you've been struggling with your symptoms, your pains, your emotional world, your anxieties, your fears. Doesn't matter. 2020 is your year. As a matter of fact, I'll be so bold as to say January 2020 is your month. Look, things can shift very, very quickly when we really understand what's going on and make a decision that we're done playing in the old way of living. Awareness, I think, is the theme that I'm going to be leaning on a lot, because so many of us run through life on autopilot. We don't pay attention to where our thoughts are going. We don't believe we have any control over our thoughts. So many people in these Facebook groups always talk about my brain is in charge. How come my brain is calling the shots? My brain does this to me. My brain does that to me. And keep in mind, there's two parts to the brain. There's a subconscious brain that's the automatic programs based on things we've been taught to believe about ourselves and about the world. But yet there's this conscious part of the brain. This is the part that's aware of what's going on. So there's two parts, and what I'm going to suggest to you is that we put the conscious brain in the driver's seat. Because if you continue to live on autopilot, you're basically letting these subconscious programs that are running in an attempt to keep you safe from all the things that you believe are dangerous. If you're going to stay on autopilot, don't be surprised when you find yourself somewhere that you didn't intend to go, right? You know, the subconscious brain is very powerful. There's programs that have been running for most of our lives. And it's really, really critical to say, all right, now, 2020, January, is the time when I put the conscious brain, the intelligent, thinking brain, in charge. And we know that TMS is the cause of our symptoms and our pains. We know that we're actually safe, even though it doesn't feel that way. And I'm not diminishing anybody's symptoms or how crazy and stressful their lives are. And if you're truly in an unsafe environment with abusive people around you, you may want to take a look at that. I am not suggesting we have to change our lives, but if you are literally in danger from massive verbal abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse, if you feel like you're in danger, look, you probably want to take some steps to address that and change that and seek help. But for those of us that are really only feeling we're in danger because of the way our bodies have been reacting to this thing called TMS, or as I love to call it, too much stress, it's really important to put the conscious mind in the driver's seat so that you can consciously choose where you're going to be going, where your thoughts are going to be going. And awareness, again, this is the common theme that I'm going to be harping on for a while now. Awareness. Without awareness, you're lost. Without awareness, you're completely letting the subconscious programs that aren't even yours, they were given to you throughout your lifetime, primarily when you were a kid. Do you really want to let these defense strategies and these programs that were given to you when you were a child determine what goes through your mind on a daily basis? I don't think so. And that's why it can become very challenging to make a change, because we're so used to running on autopilot, we don't even believe it's possible to take conscious control of our brain and listen to that inner roommate and choose our thoughts. I talk a lot about choosing our reaction, to the symptoms and the pain. We can choose our reaction to other people. We can choose to not let things get under our skin so easily. We can choose to say, well, they're just an asshole, whatever, right? That's not repression. That's literally choosing that the emotional charge that we used to have when we would be around certain people or certain situations is not something we are going to choose moving forward. And that's not repression. It is simply our conscious mind saying the triggers of the past are not going to be the triggers of today and the future. How do we get there? Awareness. Look, awareness is like this big blanket that goes over top of this whole process. If you're not even aware of the thoughts that you're having and the fearful thoughts and the anxious thoughts that are running away on us all day long, if we are not aware of the fact that we are in story mode and ruminating on past hurts and past suffering all day long, if you're not aware of that type of thing, how do you expect to change it? So, 2020, it's your year. I can sense it. January 2020 is really when you can make a change. And this isn't some New Year's hokey dokey thing like, yay, it's a new year, I'm vowing to do this, and then by January 4th it's out the window. I'm not suggesting those New Year's resolutions, but look, every day's a new day. Every day you can do a little bit better than you did yesterday. Every day you can become a little bit more conscious and aware and in the present moment and stop losing yourself in the future catastrophic thoughts of this horrible life you're going to have, or these past memories of the horrible life you've had so far. 2020 is your year. January is your month. You can absolutely make a change quickly with a decision. And look, decision is key here. Decide what you're no longer going to put up with for yourself. Decide that you will no longer put up with ruminating and catastrophizing all day long. Ruminating on the bad stuff of the past and catastrophizing the future. Decide that you will no longer allow yourself to run on autopilot and that you will be much more aware of and present with what's going through your mind. And when you realize that these thoughts that are in your mind right now are not serving you, you can choose to say, that's no longer acceptable. I'm going to choose something that's more useful for me. So choose to shift your thoughts from your pains or symptoms to the emotional world. Okay, right now what's going on emotionally? If my pain just spiked, what was I just thinking of? What just happened in my life? What emotions am I trying to avoid? Right? That's one way to shift. You can shift to gratitude. You can say, well, yeah, my pain's spiking right now, but I'm still grateful. I still have a good life. I still have X, Y, and Z positive things. Right? Choice, awareness, decision. These are words you hear me say all the time. And today starts a new year. Today starts a time when you can consciously take the steering wheel and drive this car wherever the heck you want it. Right? And if you're just going to be on autopilot, or if you're just going to sit in the back seat of the car and let this subconscious mind and these subconscious programs drive you, don't be surprised when you don't get to where you want to get to. Awareness, folks. Awareness. So 2020, I want this to be the year of awareness. I want January to be the month of awareness. And when you start to listen to where your brain is going, you can consciously take control of that, rein it back in, and say, sorry, we're not going to do that anymore. Look, it's going to take practice. You're not going to get it right the first time you try it. But with awareness and continued awareness, you can continue to shift your thoughts and your perspective back to the present, away from the pain. Remember, the pain or the brain will keep wired the things you think about and focus on most often. If all you're thinking about is the pain or your symptoms, the brain's going to say, got it. Those are the most important things, so we'll keep those wired. If you want to eliminate and loosen and let go of those connections in the brain, you've got to stop paying attention to the pain or the symptoms. And I know it's challenging to not react to the symptoms or the pains. That is one of the biggest challenges people out there have. And I just had the video yesterday where it said, I can't ignore my pain, right? And so many people responded, but how the heck do I do that? Or that's my biggest challenge. Autopilot. You're on autopilot if you immediately go to freak out mode when your symptoms are screaming at you. So awareness, huge, huge, huge. Decision, choice. These are common themes here. And you've got so much more control over where your brain goes than you've given yourself credit for. And it starts with awareness. It starts with putting your conscious mind in the driver's seat, bringing the conscious mind to the present moment, and stop letting that subconscious mind just take you where you don't want to go. So I really want to wish you a very happy New Year. Every day is a new year, right? It can be March 3rd, and you could still say Happy New Year to me because it's the beginning of a new year. The calendar is just kind of bullshit. And it's this holiday that we've kind of decided that only once a year do we get to vow to do things differently. We're going to lose weight. We're going to exercise. We're going to do this. I'm going to call my mother more. I'm going to do 42 different things starting January 1st. I'm not sure what's so special or unique about January 1st. I guess the cycle of a new calendar. But let's say you're on January 15th and you find yourself struggling to keep this awareness and choice and decision going in the right direction. Guess what? December 16th, you can say, it's a new day. I'm going to revow to listen to my thoughts more and bring it more conscious and more present. You don't have to wait until the following January 1st. January 1st is just a figurehead of a day that most people do this stuff. But every day is a new day. And if you screwed up yesterday, so what? Who cares? Start again today. Every day, get a little bit better, little by little, inch by inch, right? So I know you can do this. I know that 2020 is going to be your year. And January 2020 is going to be your month. Because you can turn quickly if you get the awareness right. And if you just decide that, okay, I'm going to decide not to freak out over my symptoms anymore, because you've proven last year or 2019 and maybe many years before that, you've proven that the opposite approach of freaking out about your symptoms hasn't helped you. Also decide that you're going to allow yourself and give yourself permission to feel these emotions. If you're one of these folks who is not very emotional, has a tough time feeling emotions, particularly anger or rage, decide, make a choice that you're going to give yourself permission to be a normal human being. Being angry doesn't make you a bad person. Doesn't mean you're out of control. You're not an asshole like your father or crazy like your mother. Just means you're a normal human being. It's another thing to become aware of is, am I stuffing my emotions? Am I running from them? If I ever say, man, I'm pissed off, but I really shouldn't be because it's my mother, brother, sister, father, right? Kid. We should feel emotions, all of them, even the dark, ugly ones. So I want to wish you a very happy New Year. I know 2020 is your year. January is your month. Every day is your day to make a difference in your own life, to choose different things, to choose your response, to become awareness of your thoughts and where they're going. And through awareness and choice, boy, you can be a different person in a matter of days. And your symptoms can respond quickly, a lot more quickly than you realize. And I know that I've had so many people sharing stories with me that, wow, I did this and it impacted my pain in a positive way. It got less simply by saying, whatever, I'm going to do what I'm going to do anyway. So if you're afraid of doing that, try it anyway. And if it's not feeling authentic, or if it feels kind of like you're faking it, so what? Keep doing it. The brain believes the things we think and say most often. So think whatever most often. Even if it feels like, yeah, I'm lying to myself, the brain will eventually believe it. The brain cannot tell the difference between something that's true and something that's false. The thing you say most often is what the brain eventually believes. That's why pathological liars eventually think they're telling the truth, because they've told themselves the same lie over and over again. So look, awareness. Get this blanket of awareness out. Lay it over top of this entire process. Just be aware of where you're going. And if you don't like the direction your thoughts are taking you, put the conscious mind in control. Let the conscious mind take the steering wheel. Don't sit in the back seat with some driver that you don't know, or who's running on directions that you didn't give to them. So I know you guys can get better. I know you can. And again, 2020 is your year, and it's not going to take you all year. Awareness, choice, decision. You can do this, and it'll happen a lot faster than you think once you get these core principles right. Know that it's TMS. Well, know what TMS is. If you don't know, study. Know that you have TMS. Make that decision. Do the self-assessments. Do the emotional discovery. Soothe yourself and get your mindset dialed in. If you can get those 4 parameters right, you can get better so much faster than you realize. So focus on that. Become aware of when the negative autopilot thoughts are taking you off course. Bring them back. Put the conscious mind in control. And know that you can do this quickly. This is not a year-long process. And even though you've had the pain for a long time, I don't buy into the mindset that's actually, spoken about in some of the other groups. That, well, it took you 20 years to get into this problem. It's going to take you a long time to get out of it. Bullshit. That's not true. I got rid of 13 years of pain when I finally got these core concepts down. And within a short period of time, I was better, and I've kept the pain away. You can too. So, get it right, guys. Go back and listen to this Happy New Year video more than once, and realize you're in the driver's seat. So with that, I want to wish you all a very happy New Year. Happy 2020. It's your year. January is your month. So, we'll talk to you guys and gals later. I do love you, and I appreciate you watching. Thank you, and we'll talk soon.